Hello everybody, welcome to the Forum Thread Podcast. I am your substitute, not as good as Wadabra, host, Mr. Fusion Lee. With me tonight, I have Mr. Fusion!
What's up?
Chaos Mana!
Hey!
Ray!
Hi!
Roselda!
Yo!
And a very special fan, Miss Tomato Can.
Hello.
Miss Tomato Can?
It's not funny.
What does that even mean?
That's terrible.
So there's this old Red versus Blue joke where they call, where Griff calls Simmons Tomato Can.
Oh yeah,
I think it was,
I vaguely
he calls him
that.
Tomato Can, so when I started dating Holly, because she's a redhead, I started calling her Tomato Can.
Wow.
As a loving term.
So nostalgic.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't called you that in years.
No, you haven't.
I just thought of it right now. But anyway, Holly, also known as Ginger Hazel on the website, or at Sweet Pea on Twitter.
So
right.
many names.
So many names.
I know, sorry.
I'm giving her a
So,
special
what do you want
treatment.
to be the official name to call her?
Let's call her Ginger Hazel, because that's kind of what I always call you during the Let's Plays that we do.
Yeah, and that's what I am on RT website, so.
Yes. Speaking of the RT website.
Which we can't get onto to be friends with you.
What a segue. High five, Holly. I mean, Ginger Hazel.
Let's go to the Rooster Teeth website live. It's shitting the bed as we speak. That's the Rooster Teeth site shitting the bed.
That, here's the, oh man, like,
We've all been with the beta.
We've all been with the beta for a while, so I think all of us are sponsors, correct?
I avoided the beta.
You avoided it. It's, I mean, I design websites for a living, and this is just not good. Like, I'm not even thinking about, like, the back end. I think the back end's probably great. I mean, I think that's the majority of the legwork, considering what they came from with how bad the other site was. So, probably the back end is fine, considering. But it looks like they spend no time actually designing the website or considering, like, just usability. It's like, again, I'm glad it's mobile, but there's a ton of, like, if me looking at it, me making those decisions, I'm like, I would have done the exact opposite of what they were doing. And I mean, I'm not trying to be, like, pretentious about it, but I'm like, there are simpler solutions to a lot of the things that they did. But, I mean, I think I'm being a little superficial by thinking about just the design. I know you guys are a little more concerned about the functionality, so.
Yeah. I know. I expected it to be rough. I expected it will take a while before everything is where it needs to be functionally, but there's definitely some glaring issues in the functionality, like private posts don't exist. They'll tell you they do, but they're not actually private.
What type of private posts?
I mean, if you make a friends only journal, everyone can see it. If you have a private group like the Guardian group, everyone can see your posts in it. Like nothing has any limiters on it. Just like it pretends it does, but it actually doesn't. Groups are massively broken. RT Michigan keeps deciding I'm not even a member, much less an admin for it.
I can't make any updates in the TFT group.
Yeah, and there's like,
is there a TFT group? Because I've tried to fucking find it. And I can't.
First off, the search bar is fucking hidden.
When finding the TFT group, for the podcast I was editing today, I needed to find a link to Lozelda's page. So I typed in Lozelda in the search bar since I wasn't logged in, and the only result was the forum thread group.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Yeah, the search function doesn't search users.
What?
It doesn't search users. So if you're looking for somebody you know what their name is, you're just trying to get to their profile, you just do roosterteeth.com/user/their name, and that will take you to their profile. I don't know if it's something that's a bug. I don't know if they're planning on adding that at some point. I don't know if they're just like, nobody needs to use this. I have no idea. But the search function does not work for usernames right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get the 8 billion notifications.
Yeah,
that's I think the worst changed functionality, because I come from a background of, I use the notifications, like I constantly had 60 notifications for the many different threads I follow, and also there's a lot of people that I follow just on Rooster Teeth itself. So to combine every single thing that happens into one blob, completely
it's a bit daunting, isn't it?
throws me off.
So part of it, I will say, is that the individual notifications, if let's say we could get to the forum thread. Mm-hmm. Is the forum thread one of the ones that's missing? I think so.
Yes. Anything in level 20.
So let's say we could get to that. You would, if 10 people posted and you'd end up with 10 notifications, that is a bug that is not supposed to happen. That will be fixed.
Okay.
I don't know how one user posting 17 pictures, if that's also supposed to be lumped, if it's a user you follow, that I don't know. But the notifications you're getting for threads, that is an error that is not going to stay that way. That's not supposed to do that. And I think in one of the posts that Adam did most recently, he said that was high on the priority list of things to address. That's actually a good point. I should find Adam's recent journals about it.
I would look for that stuff, but every time I try to click, I get logged out.
Yeah, there's that. That's finally stopped happening.
I think that's the biggest functionality problem I'm having. I can't do anything.
Yeah,
I think you can't. Getting kicked back out.
Yeah. I just immediately get logged out if I navigate. Half the time, if I navigate somewhere.
Yeah, if I was going anywhere, I was getting logged out, and then. The other thing was that a lot of the links were broken when they launched. They didn't somehow they missed part of it and it didn't fully launch. So I would click on a link and it would take me to the beta version of the site, which of course doesn't exist anymore. So then it would totally break down. So that was.
That is so awesome. I cannot find the forum thread, so I type in Lozelda, and what's the first thing that pops up?
I have to test this now. This is so great.
I searched Lozelda.
Just search folks search for Lozelda, and the first thing that pops up is the forum thread.
I don't know if that's a compliment to me or a compliment
not
to the
first thing.
thread.
That's the only thing that came up for me.
That's the only thing.
I'm wondering if
that's all I get. It's a forum thread podcast.
I wonder if it has anything to do with the fact that I was one of the names that was typed into the text. So Tijin, I think you're in the text of when it says join these people. I feel like Nobod and Wubwave and Dark and stuff were on there. So I'm wondering if you type any of those names in, you would get the TFT podcast.
So if I type in my name,
I'm wondering if that happens.
Nope, my profile comes up first.
All right, well, never mind. Your profile comes up.
Yeah, my profile is the first thing.
Interesting. All right. Well, never mind. There goes that.
I did notice
that I thought I knew.
Just like yesterday, the last 2 weeks of things that had happened hadn't actually gotten posted, and just a couple hours ago, I saw the podcast 110 journal reappear.
Right. Yeah. They locked everything down 2 weeks ago, so that way, because having constant migration, it was not going to work.
Here's my feeling on it. Look, I know there's a lot of butthurt journals that are being posted. Thousands of them saying, I'm quitting this site, blah, 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 all that fucking
there were far too many of that.
But here's the reality.
I wouldn't know. I didn't see any of them.
And Lozelda and I had this conversation, and she was very on point. When you're about to hit the biggest convention, the biggest event for your company, to roll out a site like this that has way too many bugs, where this is how the majority of the people attending and working, volunteering, communicate, that's very ineffective on their part. I mean, not a very smart.
They really should have waited to roll that out.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't understand the constant dialogue. It had to be done. The other site was at this point where it's the tipping point. I'm like,
well, the reason why, you use that website, so you said the back end. For those not keeping score, when they say the back end, they pretty much mean the code. The code was just a fucking mess. Over the years, they've had different developers and different people come in and patch things up and recode and redirect. It's basically they built really shitty bridges for a thoroughfare, and the more traffic increases when they try to expand on it, it's just going to create disaster, and that's why they had to start completely over.
It was definitely a disaster of a codec, but like you said, even with the disaster, I don't think the site was just going to fold in upon itself.
No, it wouldn't have, and they should have really given the beta a little bit longer time. I think they should have gone a little longer with the beta. Let the users mess with it some more.
Well, they said launching the beta is okay, you can log your comments, but we're not going to address them. They said right out front, we're going to collect your comments, and people are just going to interact with the beta as it is. And I'm like, this is the perfect opportunity to correct a lot of this bullshit.
Yeah. They handled the beta like Elder Scrolls Online handled their beta. Let's just be real,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This thing needed a hard QA. Yeah, I don't know who fucking addressed these.
I don't want to be overly critical because this is a really busy time of year for them in terms of other projects going on. So, and I know Adam's worked his ass off, and he communicates very well with the community via the website and Twitter. Yes, he's very transparent, and that's I really appreciate that and the hard work. But I just like the one thing I just playing on the site. You're like, this site wasn't ready to go. It wasn't ready to roll. They should have known it wasn't ready. So
Yeah, it's funny how the actual forum thread is going to still be MIA for a while at the group.
Yeah.
Like, I'm afraid to try to make a wait. None of us are admins that were admins before.
So
We will be again.
Yeah, so it's one of those things that you may or may not currently still be an admin, but even if you're an admin, you don't actually have admin powers. What about the
creator of the group? Because Nobod made.
I'm the creator of RT Michigan.
Okay, so you don't have.
Yeah, I don't have power.
Because I think it gave me an option to post a news post if I wanted to. I just hadn't yet.
I'm afraid to put this out in the universe for fear of someone hearing this and wanting to abuse the shit out of it. There is a massive flaw with how groups are right now, where people who should be able to post can't, and people who shouldn't have powers they should not have. It's not affecting all groups. There's definitely a pattern to it. But
I'll be right back. I want to just check out.
It's like General Zod breaking out of the Phantom Zone. I mean, all hell's about to break loose.
There's a lot of things.
Ray, just so you know, Ray, when I search for your name on the site, I don't get anything I get nothing but music. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Natalie Ray, Race Raymond, Delta Ray, Miranda Ray, Captain Abu Ray.
I like Delta Ray. There's like one of their songs I like, but other than that, I want to change my name now.
But Tijin, your profile does pop up, so you know you're
Oh, perfect.
You're chosen.
I must be one of the chosen few.
You're chosen.
My pictures are screwed up, but I mean, the fact that it's mobile usable, at least, like, that's a huge step up. But
it wasn't. I mean, I understand it was a jank for a lot of people, but I used the RT site on my phone and Firefox app for the longest of time without any problems, except when everyone would be having problems because actual Rooster Teeth is going down.
Yeah, it's basically like a lot of people, like, whenever I'd say the RT needs to be mobile ready, like, everyone's like, oh, I can view it on my website. I'm like, that's not what I fucking mean. Like, it needs to be a mobile website, not like
did
scroll
primarily use his phone for the website?
Yes.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, yeah, if you are fine with it.
Constantly in his RP guild.
The guild, he was constantly refreshing, and that would drive me mad.
Well, having to type out long posts like that and also navigate with your
true.
phone would have been tough, because he had a lot larger things to say sometimes, being the guild master.
And he would format his post and use, I'm like, these are impossible to use, like the italics and the color fonts and stuff like that. I'm like, hey, this is commitment.
Oh yeah.
And then then when the site was being janky and you'd lose the post, I'm like, I guess you're retyping that now on a fucking phone.
Oh, that was awful during the long trek of you not actually knowing if your post was going to submit or not.
They still had that problem. Every now and again, I would have a journal just delete.
I never had a journal delete. I've only had forum posts kind of just vanish on me.
I remember making a journal about journals being deleted, and that journal got deleted.
No, that is ironic. That's irony right there.
I think they did that on purpose. I think that's a source code. Just like, if anybody types about losing journals, fuck them.
If it detects the words losing and journals in the same same sentence.
So it's been a while since I've been on, guys. How's everybody?
Yeah, what have you been up to?
Just a little.
Let's talk about you. What are you doing these days? Talking
here
sports?
And there, working. Just working. A whole lot of nothing. Playing video games and doing a few other things like.
What video game are you playing?
I'm playing Fallout 3 again because I'm getting ready for 4, and I think I've pumped in with the mods a good 75 hours of game time. And are you
playing on the PC?
What's that? PC.
Are you playing on PC? Yeah.
Yes. Now here's the debate. I'm debating on if I should get Fallout 4 for PC or console. The great thing about the console version, is they will allow mods. They're not going to come in as fast as PC, but after Arkham Knight, I think I've become very wary about PC for big titles now.
Well, usually Elder Scrolls titles, I think, there's still going to be probably glitches and such, but Elder Scrolls titles were translated really well. too.
No, you're right. You're right. But after Arkham Knight was a bad one. I think Assassin's? There was another AAA title recently last year that was really bad on PC. Grand Theft Auto wasn't very good on PC either when it came out. So I'm kind of worried. I don't want to throw down $60 and not be able to enjoy the game. So I'm thinking maybe console.
Yeah, I would say always pick console.
Really?
It's obviously the best solution. I think you're going to get the best bang for your buck.
If mods weren't going to be allowed on the Xbox One or available on the Xbox One for the game, I probably
is mods really the selling point for you?
No, but it's a big kicker after the initial gameplay. Mm-hmm. Because
so like the replayability with mods,
the replay value is increased not just for the DLC, but because
massively increased when you add
people create these dungeons or these areas that can add extra like 10 to 15, maybe even 20 hours of gameplay. Like in New Vegas, there's a couple of mods on the Nexus mod that turned. I had like another 20 hours of gameplay based on the dungeons that they added. You know, it was great.
Holly, a mod is like an open with a game. They provide the source code and you can like update it. And then you can like change the skins or add to the game.
Oh wait, no, I have friends that do that in games, and they play PC.
Open sourcing.
Yeah, like they'll change a teapot into like an ice cream sundae or something.
The great thing about Bethesda is they're very cool about their code is very mod friendly as opposed to some of the other titles that hit PC. I'm excited for it. I know Lozella doesn't really want to talk about Fallout.
I was just making fun of you before, but I just don't play it. So
you just don't care.
I have nothing to add to this conversation, so I was just going to sit quietly in the back.
I like it because the graphics are fucking beautiful, and it's not like washed in green this time or orange.
Is this the one in Boston?
Yes, it's in Boston. Yes,
in like Fenway Park and everything.
Yeah, there's the big green monster's going to be there. They're going to have all the monuments, and yeah, it's.
So what's the backstory of Fallout? Like, it's after nuclear fallout, obviously. So.
It's in the 50s, I'm going to say, in the 1950s.
So it's in the past.
Oh, I didn't know.
No. When the nuclear war strikes, nuclear war,
Are you right
nuclear war, it strikes in the 50s. That's why the music is always old. Like, it's always older music because that's culturally that's where everything stopped. That's why the colors and the designs and everything looks very old. Even though the technology's advanced, everything looks old. It's because
I love period piece games.
I always assumed it was, because I never looked into the lore itself, I always assumed it was a futuristic nuclear war.
Well, it is a futuristic in that when you come out of the vault, it's been a few hundred years.
Oh, yeah.
But society culturally stopped in the 50s.
And there are like people outside of your vault, correct? Like, and those are the people you interact with, or
you interact with the people. Like, yes, most of the people that are outside the vault, if they survive the nuclear war, they've become mutated. That's where all of these monsters come from. They're mutated people and animals, and some of the other ones are vault dwellers in other vaults that escape. This is a different vault. I think this one's 112. If you played Fallout 3, not New Vegas, but Fallout 3, there's a little bit of a background story about Boston that's mentioned how there's a robot revolt in Boston. So that's why people are looking forward to this one, because that may be where the story involves that whole backstory. Mm-hmm. Okay, the war happened in 2077. It's an alternate history post-apocalyptic game. Yes, Warburg, but didn't the bombs? I think the bombs struck in the 50s, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That seems like a bit of a jump, wouldn't it be?
That's what I thought. I thought the bomb struck like in the 1950s.
So who's the little guy with the wrench?
The guy with the wrench.
Yeah. Besides me, I'm very small. No, there's the mascot character.
Okay.
Pitbull
So I'm wrong.
Oh,
in the world, we never developed more efficient machines, and the world ran out of resources by 2025. Okay, that's what it was. Okay, for some reason I thought it was stuck because of when we hit nuclear war. That's why. I was wrong. Sorry, Warburg. Mm-hmm. It's a great story. The gameplay's fun.
You're out of the podcast, Warburg. Your turn.
Warburg.
Yeah, I know.
Warburg.
I'm out. I'm tapping out of Warburg's tap. So hey, I hear you guys are having a panel at RTX.
We are having a panel at RTX. The Rooster Teeth Expo.
Not only that, but you guys are you're kicking off RTX.
We are starting RTX. We are at 12 o'clock, noon, Friday, August 7th, at the Hilton, correct?
Give me 2 seconds and I will confirm that.
All the
We're at the Hilton We are kicking off RTX. We want everyone
We
to
are in
show
room
up.
406 at the Hilton at noon on Friday.
Spread
We have a room
word.
that can fit 180 people. We're hoping to get 50.
No, we're gonna fill it. There's gonna be a line. People are gonna be sad they couldn't get
See,
in.
we didn't want to tell people what's going to happen. Ray's going to be wearing one of those sandwich boards that says, "Please come to the podcast." And she's going to be walking up and down.
That's the thing. We don't have
the street.
we don't even have time to run around and convince people to come. We have the side quest thing before. I'm gonna be me and Holly are gonna be at that. We'll try and convince people to come to the panel. They're not gonna, but we'll try that.
No,
You guys are so pessimistic toward it.
Yes,
Here's
you
the word.
underestimate
Not pessimistic.
Is Ray's gonna walk around with the sandwich board, but she's only gonna be wearing the sandwich board, so
Yes,
everyone's gonna come to the panel.
yourself. Then let me finish. That's exactly what's going to happen.
See? You gotta work on your
I'm
strategy.
okay with this.
And then on Thursday, I can tell people there will be a girl wearing just a sandwich board.
Tell them if you tell a bunch of convention goers that she's just wearing a sandwich, we're probably more likely to get
Yes,
people.
yes.
Oh my God.
They're gonna say, "Do you have mayo on your sandwich?"
Oh no!
I like pastrami.
We've
All
crossed.
right. First off, you're the only one who would go to that level.
crossing
I
the line.
am who I am. I can't change who I am.
So much line crossing.
I don't think about sandwiches that much.
I'm a zebra. Look at my stripes.
Okay then.
But yeah, we've been hardcore working on kind of our panel. Low chaos. I think we have a pretty good thing set up.
Yeah,
Oh,
we got,
yes.
we have a plan.
It's concrete. We've been very official about it
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Like people would go off on tangents, and we would just go, "Hey, fuckheads, listen, let's talk about this panel.
Those
Let's talk
exact
business."
words. Hey, listen, fuckheads.
Hey, listen, fuckhead.
Listen,
Hey,
I'm
listen.
I'm doing charts,
Listen.
You need one of those dog training clickers.
but we need
Get it.
a Skype version of that,
Yes.
and a very piercing noise that goes into specific people's headsets.
Specific people then out there. I know some people have been able to make very obnoxious noises on their mics.
Hey,
which I wanna-
Wardberg. Yes, Wardberg. That's how these panels should work, because that's how you find content other than just the Rooster Teeth Achievement Hunter and the typical podcast and panels. I mean, there's always smaller panels that are fun. Yeah.
The hope is that there's going to be a giant panel, and people can't get in it, so they spill over into ours.
And actually, that's not the case.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe they'll accidentally go to the wrong panel and end up at ours.
Yeah, let's rename our panel. We
Well,
can
hey,
do that,
you know
right?
what? You know what? The first year, the My Little Pony panel only had like 20 people in there, and the next year it was
Really?
packed with
Wait,
hundreds. Yeah.
really?
Yeah. Go back. It wasn't the first year of RTX. It was the second year of RTX that they had the first My Little Pony panel. And Bernie brought it up during the podcast, and he said, "Yeah, down the hall they have the My Little Pony panel." And I'm not kidding when I say there's 15 people in there. And then the next year, 2013, they were packed in their room.
I
So,
never ever understood that fandom and how it exploded like it did. Is it
Does it
same?
still exist?
Are ponies still big?
Bronies are still a thing,
It still
yeah.
exists, but I don't know if it's quite on the There's more people that have just accepted that there's people that like the show.
Did you ever see the Bob's Burger episode about pony bronies and stuff like that?
No.
Has anybody watched that show? Just me and
I've
Ollie.
watched a few episodes. It's pretty funny.
It's pretty damn funny.
I prefer Archer over Bob's Burger, though.
There's
yeah.
actually a bar here in Philadelphia that does live reenactments of Bob's Burgers episodes.
Wait, where?
Really?
Wednesdays.
How do you know this?
At Tattoo Moms.
Really?
Because I'm awesome.
I mean, I hate that bar, but we gotta go.
I hate it here, but I love it.
I hate this bar. This is one of those super douchey kind of hipster bars. You walk in and if you don't know the direct way to address a waiter or where to approach them or blah blah blah, they will just fucking ignore you.
We sat there for a half hour and then left. It was bad.
It's kind of douchey. We went there on a Sunday and nobody was there. We're just we're just sitting here, we're watching people walk by us, and we're yeah, clearly we want to be served, but whatever. Philadelphia, there you go.
Yay. We're not all assholes.
Not all of us, just a few of us. So I had a question. Changing subject. Segue. So Ray, you killed a bug earlier today. A bee, if you will. A giant bee that was terrorizing you. Did you ever find the brother, by the way?
No.
Alright, so
I don't know where it is.
So he's still around, or she. Yeah, let's not be sexist about it. It could be he or she.
Ray was tweeting a lot today Or
So,
or
it
was
got-
just the Skype messaging?
It was mainly the Skype,
Okay.
and then I forgot I had mentioned that it had a friend, and they were like, Ray, where's the other one? Ray. And I
I
was like,
saw
oh god, I
Steven's
forgot.
post about that. That made me laugh. So, like, Ray, where's the other one? And then you said something else in capitals. Ray.
Yeah, it was a massive. I think it was like something like a white striped wasp or hornet. I don't know which. And I was like, okay, I have a
Ooh, oh
hammer.
no.
I see him on the bookshelf. I'm gonna whack it. And he was
That's
on
dangerous.
something kind of crooked, so I missed, and then he flew at me. So I ran around, and then my parents looked at me. I'm like, nothing happened. Don't worry. And I walked back into my little area, and they just like, okay.
You didn't
just
warn them
let it
about the killer bee?
They knew it was there, and they just knew to leave me alone and let me die.
So there-
It's like Darwin Awards. If she gets killed, she deserves it. But then
So-
I couldn't find him, and I stepped on a chair, and he was on top of the bookshelves on a bunch of like poly bags we had. And I brought him down, and he was alive and walking around, but he was trapped under a bag. And then I started smashing him with a hammer.
Then I
So-
smashed
picked
it
him
with
up.
a hammer.
So
Yeah,
the
I
reason
know,
I
that's
bring
what
this
my head
reason I
went
bring
for.
this up is that like Ray, you went to extremes to kill a fly, like a bee, like it's just
He
a regular
was
bee,
massive.
a bee. So I'm like, I want to ask everybody, like, what are the extremes that you go to? Are you that afraid of bugs? Do
Wasn't
you
just
kill
a bee.
bugs? I want to get
That
the
was like a
general
wasp.
opinion.
That thing wanted to sting.
Like I know Holly,
I don't
like
wanna
she'll freak out about any bug on the wall, and she'll smash it. I'm like, no, don't smash the centipede. First off, the cat will get it. Good food for her. It's protein, and also we don't want that smear on the wall.
Schmear.
And I'm generally fine with spiders because they eat flies. I mean, like I don't like to kill bugs. Like that's my thing. But I
Well, we
know.
have black widows and brown recluses around.
First
They're
off, brown
gross,
recluses are
so-
cute, and you don't want to kill them.
Oh, fuck that.
My dad got
Fuck
bit by one,
that.
so no, that fucking
No,
hurts.
no. Spiders deserve death.
Yes. Regular bees are fine, they can stay. Wasps and hornets need to die.
I think the only time I've actually been officially stung by a bee was just when I stepped on one that was like basically dying, but it still got me with the little bit it had left.
When I was 4, I thought there was a dead bee on the driveway, and I was like, oh, cool, and I went to pick him up, and it stung me, and it was the first time I'd been stung, and my mom was freaking out, and was like on the phone, seeing if I was gonna fucking die, because they didn't know if I was allergic. I just remember like, oh, poor little bee, and I was like, I picked him up, and then I was like, you asshole.
I feel like this image right here kind of accurately describes my feelings towards flying, stinging
Yes!
insects.
I like how we look at that and like, at the size that they are, we're never going to be able to tell the difference.
No, I can tell. Usually, I can't tell the difference between a wasp and a hornet. Usually, because I don't want to make eye contact with it long enough to figure that out. I'm like, you're not a bee, so I'm getting the fuck out of here. Like a bee, I'm like, it'll sting you once and then it's done. So like, it's gonna be more conservative. But it's like, a wasp and a hornet will attack the shit out of you. So it's like, I don't care which one you are. I do want nothing to do with you.
Yellow jackets are also assholes because they will constantly sting you, and if you accidentally hit a nest while you're on the roof of like a sunroof and you're cleaning it off and there's nowhere way to get down,
That
And
sounds like
then-
a very particular story.
and then they get in your hair and under your shirt, and your dad helps you get on the ladder, and you don't know what to do, and then you take your shirt off into the driveway. You were wearing a bra, so it's okay, but you got stung.
Yes,
like 20
because I could
times,
totally relate
and
at
then
this
felt
point.
like you had the flu for the next week.
I had this exact situation happen.
Yes. I know exactly how this feels.
I
Now-
will never go up there again.
I had to fix like a panel outside of my apartment the other day, and like I had to step out like the third floor window, which is super tiny. So
So we were on the roof.
we were on the roof, and I had to like screw this thing in like this like metal plate back into the side of the building. And as I'm doing it, as I'm like bending this this metal thing, a bunch of like bees start flying out from this tiny little fucking a tiny little fucking hole. I'm like, how many bees are in here? How is there a hive in this tiny, like, there's like a piece of wood that I have to screw it into. And it's maybe like an inch thick. I'm like, how can there be this many bees inside of this tiny hole?
No, the worst part was you had to go back in and get another tool, and he told me to stand there and hold it. And then when you were going in the window, you're like, "Oh, by the way, there are bees."
That is true. That is true. I told her about the bees after I got inside.
I was like, wait, what?
I'm like, don't move. Also, don't make any sudden movements because there are bees.
Please also don't make sounds, don't breathe, and...
Yeah, don't do anything.
Don't breathe, don't start.
Because I'll be right back with the drill. The loud drill. So hopefully they won't be freaked out by the loud drill. So basically what we did was we screwed the thing back on. They didn't really freak out, but hopefully... I mean, I in my mind, I'm like, I hope I didn't seal them off permanently, but I'm like, I also don't want them to get the fucking out into my house, so... Those are my thoughts.
I the nest while standing on top of a roof that I needed help getting up onto. Never again. My neighbor texted me, I heard screams. Is everything okay?
No, nothing is okay.
I'm dying!
How long did it take
You called them back, you're like, get me off the roof!
Ray? How long did it take you to recover altogether?
Like a week. I felt like I had the flu, and I was like, what the fuck? Well, he's like, well, you did get stung like 20 times. I mean, I did lose count after a while, because they did get in my hair. So,
Nice.
I kind of lost count. 20 was the ones I could actually see on my body. They're assholes. I hate yellow jackets now.
I hate them, and I didn't even have that experience.
Well, it's because we had, like, what they call it a sunroof. It's kind of like a shitty deck that they had attempted to attach to this shitty house. And we never cleaned off the top. And, of course, I had a bunch of pine needles. We never thought there were bees. I was the lightest person in the house. So, yeah, I got up there. And I was like, oh, shit. I see 1 or 2 yellow jackets. I'm going to go to the other side of this little square. Maybe it'll leave me alone. No. They decided, fuck her, go get her. So I was like, fuck, where do I go? My dad thinks it's funny because I was running around on the top of the thing, not knowing how to get down, because I needed help getting back on the ladder. And then he's like, why didn't you jump in the pool? I'm like, I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking, because there were bees in my shirt and hair.
He expected you to jump from the sunroof down to the pool?
No, after I got down to the ground, I'm like, no, my thought process is not that. It's just, Jesus Christ, what's happening? Please stop. I don't think, yeah, go in the pool. But I found out later that actually wouldn't have helped. They would have stayed. I read about it online. Don't do that. They wait.
Wait, what happens?
They'll wait for you around the water, yes.
Oh,
yeah,
no,
they know you're there.
Definitely, that's not the way to avoid bees, is jumping in the water.
What's the best way to avoid bees?
Run fast.
Don't get near
Run.
them.
Tired.
Yeah, just hope. And if they're in your shirt, you gotta take it off.
I didn't think they had the, like, being insects, I didn't think they had that much
Fucking
mental
assholes.
capacity to wait around for you.
So that's actually, there is a particular kind of bee in Africa that is a vengeful motherfucker and will wait for you above water, but most bee and hornet
bees
varieties do not.
Now, is that African killing bee?
Yeah,
that. Okay, now, those bees are in the U.S. now because, remember, they migrated from Mexico upward, so they're here now.
The African bees went to Mexico, then came up here.
Well, they were brought over. I don't know how. Okay, since I'm the old guy, when I was a kid, we had heard stories about African killing bees that were in South America, and they were migrating upward, and that they would eventually, in the late 90s, hit the U.S. And they did. They started showing up in Texas, like at 98, 99, something like that. So there are African killing bees that have migrated upward. Yeah.
You guys know about the plant that can kill you now?
Oh, what's the plant that can kill us? I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Tell us about it.
I remember. It looks like a...
It's a harmless-looking plant.
No, it's not. You know what milkweed looks like?
Uh-huh.
It's that, but it's ginormous.
Where
It's tall.
is it?
It used to be in the south, but now it's coming up the east coast. But if you touch it, some people, can go into shock or get sick and vomit, and it can, kill people.
How noticeable is it on the ground? If you ran it?
It's
really
very tall,
noticeable.
big leaves, white flower.
White
Definitely
grouping
include a
of
picture
flowers.
this thing in the link to.
Yeah.
This is a public warning to all those people.
How deadly is it, or how potent is it?
Well, if you're definitely allergic to it, might kill you.
Some people just have a really bad reaction to it, and some people it can kill you.
People who think cilantro tastes like soap.
Well, yeah, I know people can
Cilantro
have
tastes
really
like
deathly
soap.
allergic to peanuts, but how often do these allergies happen?
Oh, you looking something up?
I want to look at the plant.
She's stealing my keyboard.
Well,
Alright,
you don't know
type
how
too
you would
loud
react
because it's
to
gonna
it. That's the thing,
record all the
Chaos.
noises. Okay, there. Keep it under the...
Everyone reacts to it differently, so...
Oh, did you? I was just trying to get.
I'm still laughing over this cilantro tastes like soap thing. I've never heard
If you type
that.
and click, it's going to record on the mic, so we don't want to do that. Look it up
Well,
on
I'm
your
gonna
phone.
go look it up on my phone.
Go look it up on your phone.
I have to stand up.
Okay, go. Yeah.
I'm gonna make a ton of noise.
This is way complicated.
Dejan, add some elevator music and just solo out your audio.
Nope. This is all staying in. Holly's gone for now. Let's talk dirty about her.
Oh.
Just kidding. Anyway, soap, cilantro, what's the thing?
You've never heard about that? There's some people that, like, cilantro tastes like soap to them. Like, there's just, like, some weird subset of people, I don't know what the percentage is. There's just something different about, like, their saliva chemistry that makes cilantro taste like soap.
Is this like the color of the dress thing?
No,
This-
fuck that. I saw someone wearing that dress! There's someone that I work with who has that goddamn dress. I saw it yesterday.
And
What did it look like in real life?
Black and blue, like I fucking told you!
Yes.
God.
It's black and fucking blue.
Jesus fucking
not.
Christ. Yeah, I couldn't...
7
Holly,
months
what
later.
did you say?
It's black and blue.
Has it really
Black and
been
blue
7
or
months? I
gold?
actually don't
Do you
know.
think that the dress manufacturer is suddenly like, I'm rich now?
Quite
Yeah, it's like,
possibly.
Steve, what? We're a meme, dude. We're a meme. What do you mean a
Well,
meme?
we need to put in about 100% increase in our orders.
Do you think they manufacture two different dresses? Like now there's a gold and yellow one?
Every, 1 in 100 is
I thought it was
actually
black
the
and
other
blue.
color.
No, you think it's black and blue, which is wrong.
No. A,
It's yellow and white.
fuck you. B,
Oh, I found out what the plant's called.
what's it called?
It's called giant hogweed.
Hogweed.
Sounds
May
like
cause
And I was a little bit
blindness?
wrong.
Ow.
It can.
She's hit me.
I hit Tom. Sorry. I'm not sorry.
Don't be sorry.
It may cause blindness and severe skin irritation.
So
That's a
don't
lot
touch it.
worse
That's
than
what the
getting
subhead is in the
nauseated.
article.
You get nauseous in your
Yeah,
eyeball. And
Yeah.
Is
you can't
it
use
blindness just
anymore.
from skin contact, or is it blindness if you
I
get
think
the
probably
substance in
both.
your eyes?
Alright, 8
Yes.
facts you must know about this toxic plant. Let's do some research. Oh, you want me to click
Awesome.
through each 8 facts? No, just show me a
Clickbait.
list,
Slide.
you fuckers.
De-slide it. Go to de-slider.
Contact
Oh,
with
that
the
sounds like a
poisonous
lot
weed
more-
can cause severe
more
skin and
work.
eye irritation.
Oh my god, there's pictures of the rash! That's not a rash! It's your leg about to fall off.
Oh no.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Ew.
Oh,
Whoa.
Jesus. Nobody
That's
looked
like-
this up. This is terrible.
That's not a rash. That's like nuclear that's
Yeah,
radiation.
that's the set of Fallout.
That is. That's exactly what happens to you in Fallout. It is game footage.
Christ in a banana hammock. I don't even... Yes.
Yeah,
just,
stay away.
Where
just don't
is
touch
it-
any plants
where
ever.
does it grow mostly?
Now it's in the northeast
Where
of
does it say
Michigan.
that?
Meat, folks.
You seem really concerned.
I'm
Don't
just
have plants,
curious
Dave.
about how
Look it up.
common it is right
Yeah,
now.
Google.
Well, I have Google, but I also
then
have
look
the
it up
stream
after
games I'm
this.
playing.
Hey, David, walk around the backyard. and
Touch
find
the
out.
stuff and
Shit
let us
right
know if
there.
you have it.
Ew, look at that.
Oh, okay. It's a pussy wound.
That's
Whatever.
probably no, his whole leg.
Okay, whatever. He probably took it and rubbed it all over his leg because he's a jacket.
Yeah, he's like, it won't affect me. I challenge you, plant.
This dude's like missing part of his elbow.
Ooh, wow! Look at that hole. Ooh.
Ew.
Yeah, this guy's missing.
Oh no,
like
that's the
half
one
of
we're
his
looking at
elbow.
right now.
Jeez.
Okay, so
Whoa.
anyways, we should move on from this now.
This is fucking gross.
I told you. No one believed me. It's not that bad.
Looks like a leper. It's gross.
He's missing his elbow.
Ooh, look at that guy. He's
Yeah, I
completely
know.
missing a leg.
Maybe he's an asshole and he deserves his elbow.
No, look at all these people posing
Maybe.
next to the
Yeah,
flower.
why are they posing
They're
beside
posing next
it?
to it. Like, what are they doing?
Yeah,
Have
like-
you seen the
yeah.
photo of the
It's
guy
like
with
people
no
that
leg?
Try to pose next to like grizzly bears. Like try
There's
to
a
take
picture of
selfies
like
with
these
bears.
two
It's like,
kids
look what I
pointing
got.
at it. It's like, what the fuck is
It's
wrong
like,
with
I'm
your
not
parents?
touching
Where are your
you.
parents, assholes?
The parents are
I'm not
going, I should have
touching
just stuck
you.
to dogs. So they're not to stop it. It's fine.
It's like, Timmy.
There's
Sarah,
a guy
go look
touching
at
it.
that
We
creepy
found a
thing.
picture of
Look
this
at
guy
it.
just going, I'm touching it.
Oh, he's
No,
not
you should
alive
put your mouth on
Yeah,
it,
he's
guys.
Concerned for him.
I've heard it tastes really good. The leaves make some great tea.
Is that what you're drinking right now?
Hey, you know what? But you know what, Lozelda, this is one of those plants where it'll kill us, but in about 8 or 9 months, we're going to hear about some crackhead smoking it.
Probably.
And it give them, like, the ultimate
It's a
high.
challenge. You have to be able to smoke it without getting infected.
Well, I mean, look at Crocodile. I mean,
Hey, I
let's
got the
put
photo,
kerosene in our-
and then they put their hand down after they're composing, and they're like, oh.
Yeah, I'm finding like
All these pictures are like the before pictures, and then there's like after are like those like missing limb photos. So yeah, that's a deadly plant. Don't touch it.
I found the kid's photo.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's.
And they're touching it. Okay, the kids are touching it. Good lord. Oh, there's a 2-scale photo. Yeah, these get tall. 6 meters tall.
They're tall.
Huh.
Like little trees.
I hope we don't get one of these in our backyard. We're trying to grow a garden in our backyard.
It's not going well.
Holly comes outside one day, and Teachin's like quarantined off the yard.
Where are your limbs? They fell off.
I think I found a hogweed.
So I've got good news and bad news.
Uh-oh.
It's a hogweed. No, wait, it's just lettuce.
Man,
Never
like,
mind.
what will we
Sorry.
do? Like, I have to be quarantined to the backyard. We're gonna get married next year, so will we do the service through like the screen door?
Through the door, yeah.
Like,
It'll
I'll
be
tell
so
you.
romantic.
So what's up? What else is up?
Oh, Zelda, you said before that you had answers. There was a lot of people asking a bunch of questions about what's going on with RTX.
So the schedule for RTX went out, and then information about how the signings are going to work went out. And there's lots of confusion and stuff. So, I can just, very funny. I can just like kind of talk about stuff, or if you guys want to ask questions to poke at either of those items, whatever.
One of the first things we can talk about is they released the signings like schedule and rules.
So there's the whole schedule for everything got put out like a day or two ago on Tumblr. I don't remember. Maybe it was just yesterday. I have no idea. Time is running together. So the entire panel schedule is currently posted. It is not in its final form, meaning that there will be a way that you can like see what the descriptions are for the panels and all that kind of stuff. Like, 'cause right now you just see kind of the time blocks and the names of the panels. Mm-hmm. So you will get to see information later. So they're split out by day and then where they are, 'cause there's the multiple locations going on this year, the Hilton, the Marriott, and the Convention Center. Also, under each day is what the signing schedule is. So everyone's at least in pairs, but some people are like in groups, for the most part. So like Funhouse is a group. So like that's not just 2 people. So the way signings are going to work is for this is a thing you sign up for ahead of time. There will be no lining up for it. You have to reserve a spot. It is still free. You don't have to pay anything, but you do have to have a reserved spot. So for every badge that you purchased, so if you bought a 3-day badge, you bought 1 badge. If you bought a Saturday badge, you bought a badge. Okay. What happens if you for some reason bought a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday badge as 3 separate things? That sounds like it's fuzzy, so I have no answers on that. For every badge that you purchased, you will be emailed a code, a redemption code. Okay. This is not a guarantee to a signing. It's an opportunity to reserve a spot for a signing, but it is not a guaranteed signing. So just because you have a badge does not mean you definitely get to do a signing, because signings, I think the math works out that you can have like 5,300 people, with the number of signing sessions they have, can get in to a signing. So that's way less than the number of people that are at RTX. So this is not a guarantee, and that seems to be a point of confusion. So at some point, they will open this up so that way you can sign up for an autograph session that you would like to attend. And Go ahead.
Is there any difference about the VIPs?
Yes. So right now, I was gonna get through everything, but pretty much VIPs, you get 2 codes instead of 1. Yes. If you have a VIP badge. So you will use that code you were sent to reserve your spot. So you're essentially gonna you're gonna essentially quote unquote buy your spot with that redemption code.
So what if okay, so like say like we feel like VIPs. Do we still get 2 codes? Like, can we, like, I feel like a VIP person. Like, if you look at us, we're VIPs.
Yeah. I know you're a VIP for, in my eyes.
Not enough.
But unfortunately, if your badge doesn't say VIP, it doesn't work.
Is it going to be something we have to, like, print off to show?
I don't know. That has not come out yet. Considering considering that one of the things with these codes is that each code has to have a unique email address associated with it. So, like, I'm going to use Tejan, I'm going to use you and Ginger Hazel as the example here. So, Tejan, you ordered 2 tickets at the same time. So, you will get 2 codes that will be emailed to you in separate emails. You will get 2 emails that have their own individual codes in it. In order to sign up for an autograph session, you can use one of the codes for your email address, and Ginger Hazel will take the other code and sign up for a session using her own email address. It doesn't have to be the same one that the codes were sent to. You have to have individual, unique email addresses associated with each code.
Here's the problem. It's not more work for anyone else but the Guardians that have to watch these lines for signatures. That's all it is, because people are going to start walking up and trying to talk their way in.
Do you know
or play
how
stupid.
it's set up for a line this time?
Yeah, if you've seen the last year or two, this is going to be way less work, because we get to be like, look, there was a ticket system. If you have a ticket, you walk in. If you don't have a ticket, you can't walk in. Like, there is a
No.
hard...
It's less work overall, but there's going to be a lot more complaining because
you have no idea what last year looked like. You have no idea.
I wasn't there last year, so the year before wasn't bad because we relocated the lines into the main the registration hall, and that saved a lot of trouble because the lines were literally wrapped around the showroom floor, and it just became a nightmare.
So you remember the nightmare that was the Joel signing in 2013?
Yes, I was. Yes.
Okay, so that's what all of 2014 looked like. Every signing looked like the Joel signing. That's why this was necessary. Is there was a huge mob that they could not get to disperse, so they had to pick people at random for every signing. That is why this is being instituted.
The best part of 13 was that the people that, I mean, it's just watching people be sneaky, because when we had to cut off the line for when Bernie and Kathleen did their signing in 13, I'm not kidding when this happened. They told the Guardian that was at the end of the line, okay, that's it, we're cutting this off. Okay, fine, cut it off. This woman, and when I say woman, I don't mean some kid, I mean a woman, like she was in her 30s, walks up with her husband, and she wants to get in line, and the Guardian says, I'm sorry, man, we've cut off the line. She starts crying, and like, I really wanted to get Bernie's signature and meet him, and her husband's just pouting, and she starts crying. So then Bernie sees this as he's walking up and says, go ahead and let them in. So she gets in the line, so the people that were behind her start crying. They saw that the tactic worked, and no tears to begin with. Everyone knew what was going on, that this line was cut off. So they're just, oh man. And then she gets let in, and as soon as that happened, tears start flowing. I'm like, wow, this is pretty amazing. So yes, this ticket system sounds like it'll be a little less stressful.
Yeah.
That'll be... I kind of
I'm sure it's going to happen.
I don't know if they're going to do this. I don't know if you said it yet, but to just be in a separate room, like a conference room.
I cannot speak to the location of the signatures, but they will be in a secure area where free floaters will not be an issue.
I'm really glad.
At least with the last plan that I knew. So, is that things should be restricted as far as physical space and choke.
So when you get into those tickets lines, you go up there to meet one of the guys. Like, how long do you specifically get, like, normally? Like, do you try to, like, hurry them along after, like, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes? I don't know.
At a con, you get up and they sign your picture, and then you make, like, a brief 10-15 minute second chat, and then if you could con them into taking a picture with you, then that's you just say, can I take a picture? And if they want to, if not, they'll say I can't. It's not like you have 5 minutes or 2 minutes to talk with somebody. It's just you walk up, and take your sign, you get your signature and say thank you, nice to meet you,
or like a picture. I usually do either or.
The question you're asking doesn't have an answer, because most conventions you have to pay for the opportunity to get a signature or picture. And so there's a different expectation, and there's different standards set because you've put money in on it.
Yep.
There will be kind of rules that say, what you can, like, how many things you could have signed, or, and things like that. And I don't know what any of those are going to be, because that is not up to me. That is a different team. And I don't know how that's going to be determined or how it's going to be enforced. But, like, last year there were a couple signings where it's like you can have one thing signed, and a picture, or you can have only something signed or a picture because there's too many people and there's not enough time. Like, and while they're signing or taking a picture or whatever, I was like, you'll talk and you can say hi and stuff, but it's like, you're not gonna, hang out for, you're not gonna, hang out.
I guess my point is, the why do people, can't really get in the psyche, of people who, spend an entire day in a line to, meet somebody they're only going to talk to for 15 seconds. And so for some people, it's probably, the best time of their trip. And, it's that's what it means to you, then it's awesome.
Well, to them, it's their only opportunity. It's their only opportunity to say hi to Bernie, to say hi to Gus. It's their only opportunity.
When it's your only source of entertainment, for me, watching YouTube videos like Markiplier or Game Grumps is replace TV for me. So it's my only form of entertainment when it comes to just relaxing and watching videos. That being said, that makes Markiplier someone I see on a daily basis. So to be able to meet someone that you only see in that format is quite.
I like RTX because it does feel a little more intimate with that kind of things. We act I was going to round back to this, but me and Ali in 2012 got in a line for Joel, and just because we had an hour to kill, and there were only 4,000 people at this entire convention, so actually the line wasn't that big. So it still took us an hour to get to Joel, and I saw about 800, probably 80 people jump in line, and that was 3 years ago. They figured it out since then, but I'm I can't imagine doing this for any longer than this, just to talk to them for 15 seconds. And we got a picture with them, and they seemed very nice. They asked us about cheese sticks.
Well, TJ, let me put it in perspective, because it's a 30,000 attendee this year, which is it's pretty large size now from where we started. But imagine going to Comic-Con and waiting 8 hours.
It's so crazy, man.
I can't imagine waiting all day for just one signature. I think
if you want to go to
on RTX.
The Marvel panel, the DC panel at Comic-Con this year, the line outside the convention in San Diego was a mile outside of it. A mile. Okay. Just for the DC panel at Comic-Con. It was a mile outside of the convention
center. How big are those?
I think it's 10,000 people? Because the main hall H hall is the larger hall.
Jeez.
And I think it holds 8 to 9. I think 8 or 9,000 people. It's a really large capacity. But I followed the Comic-Con Twitter feed, and somebody posted a picture saying, this is the line 1 mile outside, and yes, it's for the DC panel. And they just show people just standing in line.
They'll get in?
There, all the way in. And no, because not everybody can get in. They don't know where to cut, and they don't cut off the line,
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's crazy.
I just can't imagine the scale. We think right now that, because me and Ray, at least, we've only really been to those conventions, to think that there's a whole new scale of the waiting game that I played, especially when already used to waiting hours and hours to, for the RT podcast line, for example, and for the Game Grumps panel last year, trying to get into that one was also a very tough task.
So, yeah, I don't want to sound like I'm slighting people who wait in those lines. I'm just trying to before I remember Cassie telling me about you guys did that for you stood in a line for a long time. I think to meet the Game Grumps or the Achievement Hunters a couple years 2 years ago, right?
Yes.
That was a day for you, and again, totally worth it for you.
Well, the Achievement Hunter panel in 13 at 6 o'clock in the morning, there were people already waiting in front of the hall. I walked up at 6 o'clock from the hotel, and I see about 20 kids sitting at the escalator, and I'm just drinking my coffee, and I come down. I'm like, "What are you guys doing? We're waiting in line for what? Achievement Hunter panel." So Chris comes up. I'm like, "Chris, those people down there, they're in line for the Achievement Hunter panel." He's like, "Shit!" It's like, "Here we go." And that was when they decided to use that empty floor, that empty level, to create those lines, because it was getting crazy. People will wait that long to make sure they get into that panel.
Were you guarding back in 2012 too?
No, just 13.
Oh, okay. Alright, so we are at the 1 hour mark. But does anybody have any last things they kind of want to talk about, or should we wrap up?
I think the next time most of you guys, maybe even me, will be after RT. Well, it's going to be after RTX for me. That's a given. Mm-hmm. Low Zelda 2, right?
Yep, same here.
Well, Fusion, we'd love to have you back on again long?
Oh, come on again.
After 19 podcasts, should we wait that long to invite you back?
No, not that long. Maybe like 14 podcasts.
All right, we'll wait 14 podcasts. So, episode 133, wait for the return. Yeah.
It's been fun, though.
Yeah, we're absolutely glad to have you back, and I think you should quickly pimp your current podcast.
My podcast is the Cap Casualties podcast. Twitter is at Cap Casualties. Facebook, Cap Casualties. We talk sports. So if you're not cool on sports, it's not for you, but we talk a little bit outside of sports, not a whole lot, but my co-host is my best friend. I've known Roderick for 24 years. And actually, if you listen to the podcast, and if you've had listened to it, I know Warbird has, the intro is done by someone that you all may recognize too. So, and I appreciate her doing the intro for us.
She's probably pretty sweet.
She is very nice. Yes, she is. She's very talented. She was also in Red vs. Blue, so yeah, she's kind of a celebrity now. Yeah, she's kind of a big deal.
You got big names doing your intros now.
Yeah.
Do you have multiple intros or just the same one?
I have multiple coming up. I started with one, but I'm changing them up.
The person who was doing the intros was so good at them, they needed more.
Yes, that person was so great that I was like, no, we can't just have one. And Roger's like, no, dude, we got to diversify. I said, all right.
Now we know we can submit one, Holly.
But anyway, it's Cap Casualties, the podcast. It's on iTunes. It's on, if you search for it on Android.
CapCasualties.com?
It's actually, the capcasualties.com is our URL, but the problem is that we haven't thrown up a site because we actually have our podcast through Podbean because, as you guys know, going through iTunes is a bit of a pain in the ass. So the Podbean company is a great way. They have a resource where they naturally just throw it onto iTunes for you. So
it's kind of like our podcast garden right now.
Yeah. So if you type in Google, type in Cap Casualties Podcast, boom, there it is. So yeah. But I appreciate being on and giving me the few minutes to talk about it.
Of course. Does anybody have any else thing they want to pimp?
Everyone should be at our panel.
I can say that with the TFT Plays channel, we've formatted and released the old extra live stream.
And it now says life instead of live. Correct.
Yay!
Yay!
Zelda messages me this morning. She's like, I don't know who's fixing that, but it all says live instead of life.
I just noticed the forum thread avatar has changed.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I'm updating the look and feel of TFT. You'll see all that after.
We're kind of rebranding, especially starting after RTX. We're going to completely change.
Oh, a rebrand.
So stay excited for that. That's something.
Are y'all being bought out by the corporate monster?
Full screen.
Walmart buying you out?
You heard it here first from no one in particular.
No one in particular.
Bring Bear back.
Ginger Hazel, do you have anything you want to pimp?
Nope.
You don't want to pimp your Etsy?
It's already.
Look at her Etsy at a honey bear. A honey bear.
I make cards.
At a honey bear.
Yeah.
It's food and animals. It's cute.
It's very cute. You should absolutely go check it out.
And yes, if you're going to RTX, go to the TFT panel.
Yes, please.
At noon on Friday in room 406 in the Hilton.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks everybody for listening. This has been the Forum Thread Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at the Forum Thread. That is our regular forum or regular Twitter account. You can find us also on at TFT Plays. That's our gameplays channel. We also have TFT Productions YouTube account and TFT Plays YouTube account. You can find us on roosterteeth.com, sorta, kinda, maybe in a few weeks after when everything's fixed. The forum thread. You can find us on Facebook. You can like us there. You can also like us on Twitch. Go click that little heart button. It's pretty awesome.
Yep, we've been doing a lot of streams like with Agario and different stuff, so we look forward to that.
We stream occasionally, just random bullshit. You can also subscribe to us on iTunes. That's the big one right now. I probably should say that one first every single time, but I don't.
iTunes.
But again, thanks everybody. Thanks everybody on the current podcast for participating. Ray.
Yes.
Hi.
But thanks for listening. Are you good?
Good. Bye.
And go.
Adios.